I'm here to talk to you today about something I'm really excited about, which is the possibility that dementia is not just reversible, but also maybe preventable. For a long time, when you've researched into what can you do maybe to lower your risk of Alzheimer's disease or other dementia, you'll see the basics. You should exercise regularly. We've known for some time that people who exercise regularly have less index of dementia, and that's really important. That diet impacts dementia risk. Avoiding high sugar foods and high sugar levels in the brain can be really protective against advanced aging processes in the brain. And recently it's become also very clear that stress management is really important in preventing the development of dementia. That if we're constantly under stress, constantly being distracted, our brains are overburdened, and we need to give our brains, our engines, time to shut down and cool down. So this is stuff we've known for some time. But there's been some recent developments in the literature with a real functional medicine approach, which is kind of, I like to think of it as applied biochemistry. Dr. Bredesen, a neurologist who has functional medicine training, has developed kind of a stepwise protocol to move people through who already have Alzheimer's disease. And he's been showing some remarkable results in terms of getting people back to work and improving functions that they've lost, which no medication that we have has ever been able to do that. So this got me and Susan thinking about, well, if that protocol will work to reverse dementia effects, perhaps we could go ahead and roll in some things earlier in life before the effects of dementia are showing that are easy to do, reasonable, not really expensive, measurable, and by intervening in them now, perhaps we would prevent the development of dementia altogether. So especially those patients who, like me, know that you're at increased risk of Alzheimer's, either because you know you have it in your family or you've done the genetic testing that's indicated that. And if that's you and you're worried about that, then there's, again, tests that we can do and, again, ways that we can monitor whether or not we're affecting a change in your biochemistry to prevent that disease in you. So if you're interested in exploring this option with us, what that would look like would be you'd come in, we'd do a thorough evaluation for you. We would probably run the test called CNS Vitals to see where you are in your baseline. And then we would do a battery of tests looking at your biochemistry. That would start with kind of our basic blood tests, which is much more extended than most doctors' basic blood tests. And then after we've corrected the things that we find there, we would probably then move on to a test that I do through a lab called Genova, which is a NutriEval test, which measures heavy metals. It measures a level in the blood of oxidative stress, which is called lipid peroxides. So we'd know if the fats in your brain are getting burned or singed, and that would really get our attention, and we'd want to find where is that oxidative stress coming from. We would do zinc and copper levels. You want your zinc relatively higher than your copper. That seems to be important. Also, if you're in the transition into menopause, it probably is an argument, if you do have dementia in your family, to do some low-dose hormone replacement therapy. We don't recommend that in everyone, but people particularly concerned about dementia, there does seem to be some emerging research that starting estrogen early is really important. So it's a very individualized approach, but it's based on this very hard science data that we've got that Dr. Bredesen has put together that allows us to know what markers to target. So we test all the markers we can and we target those that are off in you.